So we got a problem with NXT. Shawn Michaels NXT. Now, don't get me wrong, NXT from the weekly shows is not bad at all. Pretty decent shows, right? A lot of character development, a lot of young athletes, homegrown talent, good storylines, greatest female roster from top to bottom, right? But when it comes to the men's division of NXT, I've always had this disconnect in my mind about it. Something is always off because there isn't much sign of these guys translating well to the main roster. Now, Trick Williams, to me, he still needs some work on his promos specifically. In the ring, he's competent enough. He gets it done. But yes, he's over. He's got a good theme song, but to really make it on that main roster, you got to really cut banger promos. You got to do it week to week consistently. If Trick Williams wants to be the guy, he still needs some fine tuning in NXT. And to me, is he ready for the main roster? Nope. I don't think he's ready yet. That's just me, though. When it comes to Obafemi, he got lots of potential, but he's not ready to be a main event player yet. Not on Raw or SmackDown. And that's pretty much the point when it comes to the men's division, is there is a lack of future main eventers. Now, this could be a case where you never know who could break out in the scene. If I look at the NXT roster right now when it comes to the men's side, it doesn't really look that promising in terms of who is going to be the replacement of Cody Rhodes and CM Punk and Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. I said Cody Rhodes already. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Like, those guys are not going to be here forever. They're just not. So Obafemi got a lot of potential. He's very explosive inside the ring, but he still needs work himself. Everyone else feels like a mid-carder or bound to be released in the future. Like, there's more wealth in character development and gimmicks than in-ring talent and technical ability. Like, I'm sorry, the guys in NXT are not blowing me away with the in-ring performance. They're just not. They're not putting on the best matches every single Tuesday night. No, the women are. The women are putting on the better matches week to week. They have the better storylines, in my opinion. And that's lacking. The technical, match quality of NXT on the men's side is lacking. Right? Now, Triple H's NXT, if we look back in hindsight, that was AEW before AEW. And Shawn Michaels' NXT is literally developmental. It's what it's supposed to be to its very, very core. You know what I mean? So it's like when people talk about NXT competing with Dynamite, AEW Dynamite, that literally makes no sense. It makes no sense for NXT to compete with Dynamite in ratings if Dynamite was to go on Tuesday night. Like, I don't understand this competition thing with NXT and Dynamite. NXT is a developmental show. AEW is not. It would still be considered a major leagues type of show, right? Type of brand. NXT isn't really a third brand. If your male talent division is subpar compared to the male athletes on Raw and SmackDown, and that's a fact. That's why a lot of those guys are still in NXT. That's why they're in developmental. Duh. We can't expect these guys to put on 5-star classics. We can't expect that from them. On Raw and SmackDown, if they were ready for Raw and SmackDown, then it's a whole new level playing field. That's the time you got to really step it up. Now there's no excuses. There's no that crutch of holding on to I'm just in developmental. I'm just in NXT. You can't hold on to that crutch anymore, because now it's time to play ball and it's time to get it done in the ring, right? Imagine how bad NXT would be if Tony Khan booked it. You know, AEW has the greatest men's division ever right now in terms of pro wrestlers, like their athletic background, their technical ability in the ring. It's great from top to bottom. You got the best roster in terms of these guys can put on great quality matches, and they're going to steal the show every single week. But it's bad storytelling. The character development is not really there. It's like steak without the juice. You know, Tony Khan booked NXT. NXT would be dead in the water. You know? And how much better of a show Dynamite and Collision would be if Shawn Michaels was the booker. Well, Shawn Michaels would know how to book AEW talent. You see what he's doing at NXT. He's making it work, because he knows these guys are limited in that ring. He knows these guys are not going to put on the best matches week to week. So the storytelling, the character development is getting these guys by week to week with good writing. You see what I'm saying? See, AEW lives up to its name. It's elite wrestling without the entertainment factor. NXT, to its very roots, it doesn't match up well to the quality of wrestling that AEW's men division puts out on a weekly basis, excluding the women's wrestling. You know, with NXT, there needs to be that definitive 1A top guy that could replace Cody Rhodes or CM Punk in the next 5 years to be somewhat of a draw. And they don't seem to have that right now. Not even in Trick Williams. Ricky Starks, he just started. So he has to really prove himself. He hasn't gotten his feet wet. So NXT has a problem, and it's more so a star quality problem. There's not a lot of stars that we could see in NXT that could translate well to the main roster that could replace a Cody Rhodes and a CM Punk. And also in terms of match quality, that is lacking well.